All right, guys, so today we're going to be talking about Chirpley. So Chirpley is a Web3 protocol that connects the sponsor to the micro or nano influencer. So we're talking about influencers that are not so big and they leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning, Web3 technology to be able to do so. We can go to the influencer marketing is one of the most rapidly growing sectors in the industry. So this is only going to increase as people continue to trust more so the influencer than they do more formal marketing strategies. So today, anyone with a platform and a point of view has the power to influence an audience, right? And brands are capitalizing on the craze. Why? Because the influencer marketing is lucrative and highly effective. So you see here 48% of consumers think influencer marketing is more authentic. So people trust it because it's more informal and they feel like they get to know the person more personally and they feel like they can trust that person more than a major corporation or big brand. Over here, we have the problem for brands and businesses. So you see running an influencer marketing campaign is time consuming, stressful, and inefficient. So you have the issue of brands trying to look for the right marketing techniques and trying to find and even find the right niche list of that specific industry or vertical of influencers to be able to chase down and find the contact information to be able to run a sponsorship or a campaign with them, right? So you see here, 90% of marketers find it difficult to fully understand how influencer compensation is calculated. That's another issue too as well, which Chirpley is trying to solve. And you see here that 40% of marketers aren't sure if their campaigns are even effective. So another thing that Chirpley can track with the blockchain using the analytics tools and on-chain data and stuff like this. So moving forward, we can see the problem that Chirpley solves. So everyone's got a dream. For countless small influencers, it's to make a living by creating and sharing content online. So creating freedom is great, but it's not the same thing as financial freedom. So this gives an opportunity to bridge the gap for the micro influencer and the big time sponsors, so they can be able to connect and find each other easily and organize everything simplistically so each person wins and sort of Lean Six Sigma's the process. So when you see 63% of consumers find nano and micro influencers more trustworthy than macro and mega influencers, this is an important stat. This is why Chirpley is targeting more the micro influencer and nano influencer. I myself would be considered in this category too as well. So I'm really excited for this project. Also, guys, just to clarify, I didn't mention in the beginning of the video, this is not financial advice at all, but this is just something I thought that I would share and see if you guys would be interested in something like this, because it seems very interesting and there doesn't seem to be any kind of competitors that are really attacking this vertical. So Chirpley is the world's first automated peer-to-peer influencer marketer or marketplace. And so we've already discussed this before. So influencers liberating small influencers so they can unleash their earning potential for the micro influencers and the nano influencers, right? And the brands empowering brands so they can market their products with ease. So a radical decentralized ecosystem that uses artificial intelligence and machine learning, right? So it's combining the AI, machine learning, and the Web3 all together to be able to facilitate this type of product that is actually really needed in the landscape of the influencer industry. The key innovations, right? So you see AI-driven selection and execution, right? One-click marketing bomb enabled. Free to access for both brands and influencers, guys. It's free. It's free, guys. So that's something to keep in mind when you're thinking about potentially allocating a position into this particular product or service, right? So it's end-to-end automation of influencer campaigns, right? Independent marketplace to integrate all social media channels and accelerate nano and micro segment of influencer marketing, right, guys? So these are things to keep in mind. We can see that the token and the utility of the token will have different forms of utilization, right? So you can access the ecosystem, direct peer-to-peer compensation, community engagement, ecosystem governance, membership, and rewards, guys. So this is the utility aspect of buying the token if you guys do decide to allocate a position, as I said previously. So we see here that basically more of the sort of how the fees and everything in the system is going to go. So here goes is we take a 20% margin from every transaction, right? So brands pay a handling fee of 10% on top of their chosen budget of 50% discount on payments made in the Chirpley token. So if you are a brand that's watching this and you do decide want to engage in sort of this service, then you would be charged a 10% handling fee. But if you do buy the Chirpley token, then that would be cut down to 5%. And so the influencer receives the payout minus the 10% of the handling fee. In the end, the 20% total fee is used for token buyback, right? And will be burned, guys. So that will make less and less of the tokens supply. I think the total amount is 1 billion, if I'm not mistaken, but we will get further into the tokenomics. And the other 80% flows back in the ecosystem for marketing, development, and user rewards, right, guys? Here we go. The tokenomics is right here. The one thing that I do like about tokenomics, I'm not going to read all of this, right? But it does, you can clearly see that this is a long-term project, right? You can clearly see when the token was launched, there was a 12-month lockup and an 8-month lockup for the seed round, 12-month lockup for the pre-seed, 2-month lockup for the private round, a 3-month lockup for the marketing team. Guys, they were really, really fair in regards to token distribution, and they didn't overcompensate their team. They did leave a lot more incentives for the IDO and also the community too as well for incentives. So that's also a really good sign in terms of token allocation. So guys, you can see more here about the token economy and a more elaborate sort of depiction of the token economy and how everything will work. Again, guys, all payments are auto swap to the Chirp token. 20% revenue is auto burned, guys. Very, very important again for the supply demand metrics, right? Influencer can stake their earning for passive income, right, guys? And staking gives the holders voter power or voting power when Chirpley moves onto the DAO model, right? And that's going to be later in the roadmap, which I'll show you guys here shortly. And here so are the projections of the market potential, right? So if you're looking at it from the landscape, how they've broke it down, so content advertising market is $50 billion currently, right? That's an estimate, of course, and the global advertising market is 750 billion. The global freelance market is 750 billion, and the cryptocurrency market is 2.2 billion, right? So there you have it in terms of those metrics. So you guys can kind of see the market that they're looking to tap into and how much money it can potentially be made. Again, when you're looking at the influencer advertising market, it keeps increasing on a year in and year out basis. Chirpley is different, the only influencer platform to have all of the following, right? So when you're looking at the different types of competitors, they're missing certain things that Chirpley has, right? So Web3, it's free to use, it's data-driven, automated influencer valuation, AI-driven matchmaking, right? Community incentives too as well, immediate payments through the smart contracts, and high influencer anonymity, right? Unique user base and larger community size, right? So this is also important to keep in mind when you're dissecting this project of all the different types of services and how their competitive advantage, right? And how they plan to separate themselves from competitors in the market currently. As you guys can see, the team is fully doxed, right? So they're not hiding, guys. They do have LinkedIn profiles that you can check too as well. And they do have a little bit of information about each and every one of the team members, right? So this is always a good sign, guys, when they're showing their face. They're not hiding behind an NFT or a JPEG. So just something to keep in mind when you're analyzing the product or the service, right? So looking at the roadmap, you can see here, these are the things they're looking to integrate this year, right? They have the integration freelance marketplace kickstart, and they have the stock NFT integration for 2023. So this is things on their roadmap. So guys, they have a complete laid out plan of what they plan to do. And so it's something that you can look at to follow. You can see the partnerships that they have, guys. This is super important to see what trusted brands are partnering with them. So you see Gate.io, which is what I consider a tier 2 exchange, has partnered with them. ApeSwap, Lithium, I've used their services before too as well. Very, very good crypto project. They deal with launch pads, right? Yield nodes. They deal with earning you DeFi yield, right? And yeah, so there's some projects here that I know of, and yeah, so this is something to keep in mind when you're assessing the landscape of the entire project. When you're looking at the current landscape of what they have going on, the Chirpley has solidified its presence in Silicon Valley through strategic partnerships with Tech Lab Innovation Center and VDF Ventures, paving the way for enhanced business growth, right? So this is very, very important, guys, because now it's bringing them more brand exposure to these bigger major players within the tech space, right? So something to keep in mind when you're analyzing this project to see if it's something that you would like to allocate a position in, right? Another thing to take a look at, guys, is the fact that they just now partnered with IBC Group, which is a leading blockchain and technological advisory firm, right, guys? So they announced the incubation of Chirpley, which, you know, is very, very huge because it's going to help with the strategic direction of the project overall, and also increase the brand exposure too as well. And as you see, if you look down here, you can see as part of the partnership, Chirpley will pitch on the famous roundtable hosted by Mario Nafal, which is infamous for his venture capital investments, right? And so this is something to keep in mind, guys, when thinking about allocating a position into this project, right? Moving on to the price, guys, as you guys can see, the market cap is it's so small, guys. So you can see here it's just a little bit over $2 million market cap. And if you scroll down, you can see too as well that this thing has been pumping in the last 90 days, guys. Look, it's done about a 10x since 90 days ago, which is absolutely insane, guys. And it's done a 10x and still only at a $2 million market valuation, right? And so as you see, the volume isn't even that high. So imagine what happens when the volume starts picking up and they're in the peak of the bull run, guys, especially what's going on with all the AI hype as we see currently around. This project has a lot of room to grow in terms of valuation. And if we think about, again, the narrative of artificial intelligence and how things are going to go, and in the next year, you know, the Bitcoin halving and everything. So it's something to really, really pay attention to as much as possible. And this thing, if it does a 100x, guys, just think about it. If it does a 100x, that would only put it at a $200 million, a little bit over $220 million market capitalization, right, guys? So that's still extremely tiny. That wouldn't even put it in the top 100 in terms of crypto projects, right? So it's something to really keep in mind, guys, when looking to allocate a position into Chirpley, guys. So overall, I think this project has a lot of potential, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys on the next one.